Service Writing in MaxxTraxx Part 3. In MaxxTraxx, we can track all of our part and sublet labor purchases, ensuring all these purchases are either billed to the customer, tracked in stock if it's a fast-moving part, or returned to the vendor for credit, and this includes used cores. Let's open a repair order and take a look at how the parts ordering works. You will note there is a part with a red circle and slash on it. This denotes one of two things. I'll click on that part to open the Part Sales Detail Information screen. The red circle means that we don't have any available quantities of this part in stock to sell. Notice the -1? Or it means that we don't have a cost for this part. And this is very critical if you're using the fully integrated accounting in MaxxTraxx for real-time financial information. So MaxxTraxx will prompt us whenever we go to save this RO to get that part into stock. I'll click the OK Save button and select Save and change status to Work in Progress. This list is customizable, by the way. And here is that notice. The following parts on your repair order are not in stock and need to be ordered. This notice applies to sublet labor as well that we sell to the customer. Note here that this following workflow can be used for online ordering as well as just creating a parts order form for parts that you just telephone in. So let's tag in the order column next to the brake pads. And note here the vendor code is FMP Factory Motor Parts. This denotes we selected the parts from Factory's online catalog, and all of the needed data to submit that order online is stored in the background automatically in that part master record. I could choose another vendor by clicking Next, but I'll just click back and select Single Vendor Quick Order since MaxxTraxx knows which vendor this part came from. This creates a parts order form. Here, I would click Send Order, and the online order is sent to Factory Motor Parts automatically. Factory's website will pop up automatically for me to click Add to Order, click Order Review in the lower right, and enter a purchase order if needed, and click Place Order. And here is my order confirmation. Let's note two things here. First, there are a few different online catalog interfaces, and they each have their own workflow. And even if I didn't have online ordering for a particular vendor, let's say this was a sublet tow bill, and of course we don't do online ordering for a sublet tow bill, I can still go through this process of creating a parts order form and just save it. This does three things. 1. Tracks the parts and sublet labor that have been ordered online or over the phone. 2. Ties the part or sublet labor purchase back to a specific job. And 3. Reduces our data entry once the parts are delivered. Let's look at that next. Close. Notice this now says Submitted in the upper right corner, and the Send Order button is inactive. Save and close, and save this open parts order. That parts order form is now waiting under this Order Parts icon for the parts to be delivered. Once the parts driver brings me those brake pads and his invoice, I'll click on the Order Parts icon, highlight my parts order, see the status says Submitted. Notice these other parts order are just open. These were not actually submitted online. They were either called in or, note that these are negatives. This is how I track my returns. Please see the training video on managing returns for some workflow suggestions. Back to my factory order for brake pads. Highlight the order and click the big green check mark. Convert selected parts order into a received vendor invoice. This is our data entry shortcut. Enter the total on the paper vendor invoice that you have in your hand and this will keep the integrated accounting correct and your bookkeeper happy. And click OK. This is now our target amount that we're duplicating in MaxxTraxx. You can see that this part purchase is now tied to an actual job. See the PO number? Just click OK Save and select Update Inventory and Post to AP, Accounts Payable, if you're on a charge account with Factory Motor Parts. We will be prompted to enter the vendor invoice number and click OK. Now we have tracked our purchase, the cost for the part. If the cost changed on the vendor invoice from the original parts order form, it would have updated the cost of the part on the actual customer's repair order if it had changed. And now we have a charge on our vendor's account to pay at the end of the month to Factory Motor Parts. Let's go back into that repair order now. And notice no red circle and slash. This means that we have that part in stock now to sell. And we know our profit monitors are correct as we have the actual cost of the part in this equation. So when the job is done, we can click the OK Save button in the lower right. Select Complete and Print to print a final copy of the RO, which is now designated and prints on the paper invoice that this is an invoice instead of an RO. We get a confirm question that says, this will mark the repair order as complete and prohibit further modifications to it. Do you want to continue? We'll say yes, and I'll select to print 2 copies for when the customer picks up. One for me to hand the customer, and one for me to read as we review the work performed and the charges to the customer. Now when I go back into that RO, which is actually now an invoice, I cannot make any changes. However, let's say the customer brought in a coupon. I could close only, right-click on that customer invoice line, and select Change Status to anything other than complete. Now I can go back into that invoice and apply the coupon. The reason we have this feature not allowing us to make any more changes is we may have already told the customer what his total invoice amount was. This also marks the RO complete, and now a completed job will show up for a cashier to select and pay from the cash drawer icon. The money bag, and this is really only a feature if you have a separate cashier to cash out your customers. I'll click OK Save again now, and this time select Pay and Print. Here we're on the cash drawer screen. And note the customer has a credit available we can apply to the bill. Click the Use Credits for Payment button to the right, and click in the Use column, and click OK. Now we have a remaining balance to pay. Click the down arrow next to the method of payment and select from the list. These payment methods can be edited, by the way. We'll select Visa and click Apply Payment and Finish. Select the number of pages to print and you're done. And I'm prompted to schedule to send a marketing letter. I'll just select a thank you letter and send in 5 days. Note that once you paid the RO, the transactions associated with that RO, the sales, the cost of goods sold, the payment, all post to your financials in real time. And this concludes the lesson on Service Writing in MaxxTraxx Part 3.